I envision a sustainable Philippines? Well, I think it all starts with a more conscious citizenry where people are more conscious about how they eat, how they buy, and how nothing should go to waste. I think when we start with a mindset like that, then we can have a more sustainable Philippines.
A sustainable Philippines is our beloved country flourishing as God intended it to be. Its people are happy, content, progressive, and conscious of their responsibility as good citizens and consumers. Industries protect and respect their workers, as workers protect and respect their employers. Our natural resources are not abused by industry. Instead, they are used wisely and thoughtfully, and even protected so that future generations may have the benefit of enjoying an environment that is hospitable, healthy, lush, verdant, and vibrant with the flora and fauna that will set it apart from other Asian countries.
A country where individuals and organizations make intentional, responsible consumption and production every single time, where all cities are sustainable and communities meet their own goals without compromising future generations to meet their own needs.
I hope and envision for a sustainable community whereas people of our country share a common purpose, and that is to acknowledge our future without reducing the resources that maintain them. Let us continue to promote, educate, and share with everyone how to better understand and embrace a sustainable living.
I hope for a sustainable Philippines wherein everybody has jobs, there is no poverty, we have responsible government, there is clean environment, and everybody believes in God.
A sustainable Philippines is grounded on life-focused, Bible-centric values that transcends the future generations.
A sustainable Philippines fosters development through human perspective in rights reform, greener environmental considerations, agribusiness partnerships, and strengthens to empower the integrated ecosystem, making impact to the people.
Hello. I envision a sustainable Philippines where we have a clean environment, not only outdoors or in our cities, but also in our workplaces.
I'm Gabby Avante, a biology sophomore from DLSC Manila, and I envision a Philippines that is aware, educated, and willing to take action to pursue a sustainable society for all.
When the music fades, all is stripped away.
Hello, good evening, everyone. It is Thursday night, and welcome again to Lucy's channel, the show wherein we talk about different things, anything under the sun that we feel interesting, business, school, government, the pandemic. We all talk about it, and we're here. Please remember, no, we're here in Sustainable PH. This channel is about talking about sustainability, but with godly principles. Good evening, Kathy. How are you tonight?
Hi, good evening. I'm good. I missed broadcasting for Luch's channel. Luch's, by the way, to our viewers, means light. So we want to shed light on a lot of issues during this pandemic. And last week we had an interesting topic wherein we interviewed, puro doctors tayo lately. Last week we interviewed our doctor friend as well, because might as well interview the experts, the professionals, those who are the best in their field.
That's right.
So, Carlo, would you like to tell our viewers what happened last week? You
Oh
must have
yeah.
missed
If
it.
you guys can recall, no, if you missed that show last week and you're curious about the vaccines, ganyan, you may want to find it in our Facebook page. The video is still there. Please watch it. You will find it very informative. The show last week was entitled Vaccines Are Here. What is the next for the Philippines? Again, vaccines are here. What is the next for the Philippines? Our guest was a good friend, and he's a renowned doctor. He serves in Alpha Land. He's a resident doctor there. And, he answered the most challenging
Difficult.
questions.
Which
Uh,
were all written by Carlo.
yeah, yeah. Practical, very practical questions, but relevant. And
Right.
so you'd find that episode very informative. So if you missed it again, just look at it, browse through the Facebook page of Luchis and try to find it. But tonight, we have a very interesting show also. This
Yeah.
is a show, our episode for tonight is very close to my partner's heart because see Kathy, she is not only beautiful outside but she is beautiful
Wow.
inside
Thank
out,
you.
and she is a leader of a ministry for senior citizens. Senior citizens. See Kathy just has a soft spot in her heart for seniors. So our show for tonight is about seniors, and pinakamaganda, si Kathy would be the one to introduce it. Okay,
Right.
Kathy?
Yeah, yeah, Carlo is right. I have a special heart for seniors. We have this ministry in our church, Spring City Fellowship. It's called Spring Sixties, meaning you are qualified if you are 60 years old and above. So we meet virtually, whether you believe it or not. We have created Zoom accounts for our attendees. And then we just talk to their millennial companions in their homes to guide them through the Zoom. And yeah, sanay na sila. They know how to do Zoom right now. And yeah, we actually my pastor and our pastor and I guested one time at the 700 Club to promote this ministry, which sabi namin it's a very good project kasi we believe all churches should have it. If we're focusing on the youth too much, paano naman yung generations that came before us? Let's not
Yeah.
forget them. The fact that they are still alive is a proof of grace. And the Lord pours out his blessings through our seniors, the heads of the family. So let's not forget them. So tonight, we will talk about the seniors, that segment of our society na mukhang Carlo natamaan talaga in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
Um, madaming effect sa kanila. There's this article that was forwarded. By the way, Ian, our co-host, will follow, and she sent this material to us. The global outbreak of COVID has affected people of all walks, especially the segment of older people. Early evidence from China, where the disease is believed to have originated,
Yeah.
indicates that a majority of mortality caused by COVID-19 occur among older people aged 60 years and above. The case of Europe, which later became one of the epicenters of COVID-19, reported a greater majority of fatalities for people 60 years old and above, according to WHO. This vulnerability of older people to COVID-19 is further exacerbated by anecdotal indications of ageism transpiring at different levels. Ageism occurs at the structural level in which institutions otherwise support societal prejudice against elderly people and individual level in which elderly people absorb the unfavorable cultural opinions about aging. So
Okay.
yon,
Mm.
as I've read, yung earlier cases ng COVID, mostly hit nun, it was China,
Yeah.
yung segment na yon, yung senior citizens. And then sa Europe, ganun din. So they saw a trend in who were being affected quickly, and majority yung senior citizens. So we actually interviewed
Mm.
senior citizens from our church, and let's see what they have in mind. Ano ba yung experience nila right now? What are they going through in this pandemic? So let's kindly play this video. It's a 10-minute video.
Hi, good evening. My name is Anita Bay. Yeah, I'm 72 years old, turning 73 by April.
Yeah, good evening. This is Lubin Reyes from Makati, Palanan. I'm 62 years old.
I'm Norma Madana Geronimo. I'm 76 years old, turning 77 next month.
Yes, I am Mike Simolde, a member of the Spring City Seniors.
I guess this pandemic really is really dangerous to seniors actually because we are more prone or vulnerable for the virus. So that's why it was implemented to elderly that has not to go out for the safety of our community seniors. Because of my strong faith in God, I would say I'm still doing my services for the senior if they need my services actually. I do pray before I will leave the house that I'm asking our Heavenly Father Creator that shield me with the Holy Spirit, okay, and to be out of danger for this virus.
Yeah, being a senior, this pandemic is it's no joke. It has been
Yeah.
in the whole world, not only in the Philippines. It's a virus that and cannot be seen by our naked eye. Kaya medyo, it's the very reason seniors are not allowed to go outside of their residence. And it's really scary for seniors who is suffering, especially who is suffering from respiratory ailments such as asthma and especially the COPD, the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. It has affected not only seniors but as well as the younger generations as a whole, the entire humanity.
It's very, to me, it's a blessing. It's a blessing because this is the time where I became very, very close to God, complete surrendered. I have more time to pray, to listen to Christian music or meetings, ministry like that. So I I really have time to surrender to God, complete surrender to God. I realize all my shortcomings and I confess it to God. And I feel I'm happy because I have surrendered everything to Him.
Itong pandemic na dumating, we were really surprised that this is the only first time in our country that happened. Kaya caught unaware tayo. Also, nagkaroon din tayo ng fear, but we have to be positive and think how we could survive and avoid getting this dangerous virus. Kaya kailangan talaga maging positive tayo.
I drink hot water or hot warm water in the morning
Warm, yeah.
and lots of calamansi juice if possible. There's some orange juice, but something that goes with citrus juice. And also, of course, I have to follow all the instructed by the government: face mask, wearing the face shield, the face mask, the distancing, and much possible by not going out. That's as they have said. This COVID pandemic is really, it's very scary. It's very, you really don't know who to trust. I mean, what to trust is the person beside you or somebody or even in the air. some kind of especially now there's a new strain virus, the
Yeah.
B117, which is more infectious than the COVID-19. Whether this pandemic was caused by an evil persons or by nature, we need all kinds of precautionary measures to think of and to follow it to the peak. And of course, lots of trust in our Lord Jesus for of protecting and to protect us more, to cover us with
Yes.
His
Amen.
protection. Yeah.
I would say that I keep myself very healthy, at least, um, following all the protocols, guidelines, and for elderly, we need a strong immune system. Actually, it helps very much, and that I'm following. I'm doing a steam, ano yun, naramdaman ko nakakatulong sa akin. Tapos, umiinom ako ng salabat with calamansi. Yung kailangan yung mga pagkain din natin, enough sleep, kailangan yung pananalig natin sa Panginoon, paniwalaan natin. No matter what, it's all on the hand of God. But napaka-importante din talaga yung pag-iingat. So, yun nga, pag sasakay ka with the complete gadget, face shield, and face mask, and with this perfume, alcohol. Actually, sabi nga don't trust. So sabi nga nila, we never know who is the carrier. So kailangan meron tayo talagang yung focus sa pag-iingat, things like that. So hindi lang do ako malakas ang loob ko, pero yung pag-iingat nandun. Laging nandun kasama ko sa kalooban ko. And the prayer is really, it counts really very much, and they are very powerful with the faith in God. Yung po yung nakakapagpalakas ng loob sa akin.
Well, first and foremost, we have to keep ourselves physically fit, like what I did. I went jogging, walking every morning, eat healthy food, getting enough sleep, and kailangan yung mindset natin should be always positive and leave the bad experiences behind. Avoid getting depressed and worried. Yung kailangan labanan mo yung fears na nararamdaman mo, especially na tayo is senior, very very susceptible tayo sa mga dangers ng virus. Kaya kailangan lahat ng mindset natin positive lahat.
This pandemic period, there was a miracle. Every time I talk to Ma'am Cathy, he's asking me, what do you want me to pray for you? I asked her to pray for my family. I want my family to have a solidarity, to be loving and caring to one another. My children, my brother and sister, my grandchildren. So it was really a miracle. This before Christmas, really God answered my prayers for how many months that I prayed. I prayed so hard, longing for this family solidarity. So my brother in New York, and we are all here. There are six brothers, sisters. I really almost cried. It was a miracle that my brother in New York called for a Zoom meeting. So everybody will be meeting through the Zoom. So Lord, I said, Lord, it was a miracle. You planned it that my brother in New York initiated this kind of Zoom meeting. So everybody was there, my grandchildren, my everybody. Sabi ko, Lord, this is really a miracle. You planned. I thank also the group, the Brother Lubin, Ed, Mike, Anita, and everybody, Yoli. We're so close. That's your period, the pandemic time. That is the only time we met. But the feeling is so close. We're so close. We feel we are a family, a family. It's so really God's work. I praise and thank God so much, so much.
Alright, that is yan yung mga ano, Carlo, mga anak ko sila.
Oh yeah,
Anak ko.
yeah. Your barkada.
Well, they're my barkada. So, so proud of you, Tita Norma, Tito Luvin, who else? Tito Mike and Miss Annie. Thank you for being part of that video. And ngayon may idea tayo kung ano ba yung tingin ng seniors sa pandemic na to and what they're going through. So there are positives, there are negatives, and they also shared their tips on how they're keeping healthy. But we want that we provide the information that will really be helpful coming from our experts. So tonight we have with us um, one. She is also our friend. She graduated medicine from the University of Santo Tomas, Faculty of Medicine and Surgery. She finished internal medicine at Veterans Memorial Medical Center and practicing internist in Angeles City, Pampanga. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Olive Legaspi. Hi, Doc Olive. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Doc Olive. Good evening.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Thank
sure,
you for being
definitely.
here.
It's our pleasure to have you, Doc.
Wait,
uh, so, how are you feeling tonight, Doc?
Okay, feeling fine so far. Thank goodness. Thank God.
Okay. Sige, Doc. Siguro, Kathy, we have questions here. I'll
yeah,
dive into the
you,
interview already. Doc,
you may start. Yeah.
I'll shoot our first question.
Sure.
What health challenges has COVID-19 presented to those aged 60 and above? Are there particular groups or physiological characteristics that increase the risk for some senior people than others?
Yeah, unfortunately, the pandemic is actually very susceptible yung population of seniors. Eh. They're the one of the highest risks. So if you notice the in the news media that in the other countries they're the priorities when it comes to the vaccination because they're very high risk. When you talk about elderly population po kasi, they have more of they have a lot of the comorbidities that make them high risk for COVID, like hypertension, diabetes, COPD.
Mm,
So these diseases make them more high risk aside from the age.
mm.
So they're really the most vulnerable to COVID.
I
So
see.
unfortunately, we see that every day actually.
I see. Okay, okay.
Okay. So, Doc, I have a question. So what are the necessary precautions that families should take who live with seniors at home? So should they stop close contact with them, like kissing or mano? Should we avoid those during the pandemic?
Um, Actually, the problem is when you talk about yung living with seniors, we have what we call yung bubble. Eh. For example, my family is my bubble, so we interact regularly. So when you get into contact with other bubbles, that's the time that
Mm,
there's gonna be a problem. So if you're talking about in your house and you have a senior citizen, I would advise those who are like for me, I go out every day. You have to decontaminate
mm,
thoroughly talaga, literally from head to toe. Even my own stuff when I come in, I I Lysol, I spray my bag, my shoes, everything. The clothes that I wear, I have to take them out. I cannot put them in. Then you have to take a bath, even everything, just for me to get in close contact with my family.
mm,
So same with the other households. Now, in terms of yung mano or kissing, if you live in the same bubble, for example, you live in the same house and you decontaminate thoroughly, more or less, that's gonna be okay. But when you're talking about going to another household, You're not living with that senior. That's the time that's gonna be a problem
Mm,
because you're interacting with another family's bubble. Eh. That's gonna be the problem with that.
I see.
So I would advise not going to other people's houses. You
Mm,
just interact with the people in your bubble,
mm,
not going out with halimbawa kahit kapitbahay mo or what do you call this lola mo. Yan. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do
so we
that.
have to.
You there's a chance that you have to you will probably get infection.
So Kathy,
Mhm.
si Doc is saying we need to be extra careful when
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
We
Yeah.
when we're
interact.
interacting with seniors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, Doc, I have another question for you. With the availability of vaccines, nandiyan na yung mga bakuna, what advantages and disadvantages are there in vaccinating senior people? I think una yung mga senior, no?
Yeah, they have to
Mm,
be. They have to be priority. In the States, the seniors are first in line along with us healthcare professionals.
okay.
So that's the ano talaga, that's the protocol supposed to be, but unfortunately I'm not seeing it here. Eh.
Mm,
There's supposed to be the protocol is seniors and healthcare professionals are supposed to be the first in line to get the vaccines.
I understand.
Pero I'm not seeing that protocol being carried out here. Pero if you look at the other
Mm,
countries, di ba, in UK, the first person to be vaccinated was a senior citizen. Diba? Tapos in the States, same thing. They're rolling out for seniors and healthcare professionals.
I see.
Okay. Oh, by the way, to our viewers, if you have questions, please write them in the comment section. Please take advantage while Doc Olive is here. So she will be answering yung health issues,
Yeah.
physically, and then later on, we'll talk to another doctor tungkol naman sa mental health and spiritual health. So right now, please take advantage while Doc Olive is here. Write down your questions so that we can read them out loud and ask Doc Olive ngayon mismo live. Okay, my next question is, what's your advice to senior citizens so that they won't develop a paranoia? They're vulnerable, yes, but another thing to watch out for is the paranoia naman. So how can they avoid having paranoia, and how can they keep healthy when they have restricted movements? Are there any workouts that they can do at home?
Well, it's difficult to advise regarding the workouts per se because we're talking about a population that has a lot of illnesses, like heart failure and stuff. So it's very difficult for me to give advice on what workout would be safe for them. You have to take into consideration is their do they have high blood pressure? Do they have anything like that? From what I can gather, the most safest workout would be like tai chi or the mild movement. But strongly advise seniors that they have to continue moving.
Mm,
They have to continue working out or exercising because it's very important. Also, another thing that I would advise seniors is they should have their day-to-day living. They should have regimen, like for example, scheduled
mm,
people with scheduled activities throughout the day, they're more or less likely to experience anxiety or paranoia rather than those who are like, oh, bahala na lang, saka na lang tayo, kung ano na lang dumating. No. Try to schedule, like for example, 7 to 8, I will go to mass, or 8 to 9, like that. So try to schedule your day-to-day existence so that the paranoia would be with less. Number two, uh, I like what they said in the video that you should concentrate on hope or positive, which is true. This I would like to encourage people that this pandemic will end. Eh. The end is already in sight. We already have the vaccine. So just try to stay positive. This too shall pass, but we have to you have to let us healthcare professionals do our
yeah.
jobs. So we have to be still what do you call this? On alert.
Mm,
We have to be
Vigilant.
safeguard our health. Yeah, vigilant about our health and be careful with close contact with other people.
Mm.
I know it's hard because Filipinos are very sociable. Eh. We like partying, we like gatherings, but unfortunately, the end is not yet here. Eh. So the we have to still be vigilant after all this time.
Mm.
Unfortunately,
Very true, Doc Olive. Well said. Oo nga. Pero like what you said, no, parang nakikita na natin yung light at the end of the tunnel because the
yeah,
bakuna is really here. Eh. So
yeah,
it's just a matter of time.
yeah.
Doc, I have another question for you. What can seniors? How can seniors keep healthy when they have restricted movements? Uh,
Mm.
what home workouts can they?
Ah,
Wait, ito yung tinanong mo, no?
yeah,
Sorry.
I asked that na
Ah,
pala. Sorry.
Uh, um, this question: how long should seniors be exposed under the sun for some vitamin D, and what time should they go out to catch this sun?
Well, early morning sun is the best. Pero actually, based on studies kasi, pwede naman anytime eh. Pero you have to avoid um, yung intense sunlight, which is between 9 and 3 o'clock.
Okay.
9 a.m. to 3 p.m., which is yung... Now, the ang problem with the senior population is because of they're also susceptible. A normal adult should have a 15 to 30 minutes sun exposure throughout the day. Okay. But with seniors, you're dealing with a special population that is also at high risk for developing skin cancer.
Oh, I see.
So the recommendation should be for seniors is about 5 to 10 minutes only. Not
Oh.
more than
Ah,
yeah, we don't go high. Mga
Mm.
15 minutes lang siguro or 5 to 10
pero
minutes. Not
every
don't
day?
go
Pero every day, Doc?
and recommendations about 2 to 3 times a
Two
week.
to three times a
It's
week?
not really
Oh.
yeah, pero in reality, ako I encourage nga yung going out, being in nature. If you have a
Mm.
garden, go out there. Kasi they found there are studies that says that if you go out, you experience sunlight, you experience nature. If you have garden, you go out in nature, it improves your mood. Actually, it helps with your mental health.
That is so true.
Mm.
That is so true.
Yeah, so that would I encourage. But the problem is with seniors, you're also dealing with increased risk of skin cancer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to temper that sun exposure also.
Probably they
And
should
then,
be with
Doc
nature, pero
Olive,
hindi naman sobrang init.
Yeah,
Mm.
supposed to
okay.
be. Actually, even for adults, even for 20s and 30s, it's about 15 to 30 minutes lang naman
Mm.
per day.
Yeah.
Not really that. Ano.
Okay.
Uh,
Doc
Kathy,
Olive,
we
there's a
have a
question.
question here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what kind of lifestyle should seniors learn to adapt to prevent them from contracting the virus?
Well, I think the key word that is what you said, Ma'am Kat, is vigilance. Eh. That's the kind of you have to adapt. You have to be, ano nga ba yung what word, ang mas nabubuhay daw yung praning.
Mas
So you have
nabubuhay
to
ang
be like
praning.
yeah, you have to be extra careful. You have to be literally decontaminate everything. If all else fails, decontaminate everything. Just what I told you, when you come in from going out, decontaminate everything, literally.
Mm.
Diba? Everything that you got out. Kaya nga, when I go out, I try to minimize the things that I carry because it means less stuff to decontaminate when I go home.
Right.
And then I try to minimize going out per se. For example, when I come out, that's it. One time only, run all your errands and then come home, then decontaminate everything literally.
Yeah. Good.
Yun ang namin sa medical field, mas nabubuhay daw yung praning. So you have to wash everything.
So,
Literally. Even
Doc
my
Olive,
bags, my shoes.
even your bags.
Yeah.
Question, Doc. You said kanina, ang i-avoid na time to expose
Yeah.
yourself to sunlight is 9 a.m. to 3, no?
Yeah.
So, meaning dapat before 9, nakapagpa-araw
Yeah.
na. Okay.
Siguro up to 10, pwede pa siguro, 10
Up to
a.m.
10
Pero
pwede.
yung isang
Okay.
yeah, the noontime sun is really intense actually.
Oh,
Got it.
Especially here. Kasi we're equatorial country.
Kathy, Doc, we have another question here coming from
Mhm.
Eduardo Sanchez Gonzalez. Doc, pag
Yeah.
ang mga seniors po ba nabakunahan na, hindi na siya mahahawa ng
You
coronavirus?
Actually, yun ang ironic eh. Kasi nga, if you study the vaccines, especially the top two ones, the Pfizer and Moderna, they do not guarantee that you will not get COVID.
Mm,
They only guarantee that you will not get severe or you will not die from COVID. Pero
mm.
you can still get COVID from the even if you were vaccinated.
I
Oh.
see.
Kaya nga, even if you are vaccinated, you still have to wear a mask. You still have to socially distance. You still have to do the precautions.
Shucks.
But it's a guarantee lang na you will not be hospitalized, you will not die. Especially the Moderna vaccine, they have the study there is 100% na hindi ka magkakaroon ng severe COVID.
Mm.
Pero they did not say that you will not get COVID.
Yeah,
Never, they didn't guarantee that you will not get COVID. They just guarantee that you will not get severe COVID, you will not die,
yeah,
you will not be hospitalized, you will not be intubated. So you will probably still get COVID, but most probably you will not get the severe one where you'll die or you'll be
mm.
intubated.
Thank you so much, Doc, for answering that question. And I'm sure parang if you get COVID, may bakuna ka na, nakakahawa ka pa rin.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
another thing. Ang problem kasi if you read the newspaper today, about nearly half of Filipinos don't want to get vaccinated,
Oh, wow.
which is I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know
They're
why.
afraid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
I don't know.
Takot. Kasi di ba nag-spread yung news na uh, to develop a vaccine, kailangan 5 years muna, di ba, Doc? Yun yung sinabi. Although last week, dun sa
It's not
discussion,
necessary, but you have to get the background and why they did the vaccine in a year. Actually, when if you know what happened was when COVID came out, the one of the good things that China did was they open source the DNA code kaagad. Within 2 weeks of it being within 2 weeks of it being discovered, in open source, ibig sabihin pinpublish sa scientific journals yung DNA ng virus. So what happened is, lahat ng scientists all over the world, they got into it.
Mm,
They researched it. And then, fortunately enough, yung Moderna, that's why they were one of the first, was they were already working on a SARS-CoV-1 vaccine. So basically, what they did was, meron na silang blueprint for the virus actually. Parang 70% of the virus, similar lang with SARS-1. So that's why they were able to build. Within 2 days of getting the DNA, I think within 2 or 3 days of getting the DNA code of this one,
mm.
they were able to build the vaccine already. That's why it was
yeah,
fast.
I see.
right.
Ganun yun. Kaya
Saka,
there's no conspiracy or anything. Yun
Yeah.
ang story nun. Kaya mabilis.
saka
Kasi they're
Carlo,
already working on the SARS-CoV-1 niya.
Carlo,
Kaya
you might want
mabilis.
to
Hindi pa
share.
dahil short
Mm,
or something.
go ahead.
Right, right. You might want to reiterate what the no, Doc Ben said last week about the COVID-19 vaccine. Na people don't really need to wait for the 5 years. Kasi
Yeah.
nga, yun like what in support to what Doc Olive said.
Yeah.
Yung sabi ni Doc Ben, intentional yung pag hanap nila ng vaccine for this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were, they already have a blueprint for it eh.
Mm,
Kaya nga SARS-CoV-2 to, di ba? The SARS-CoV-1, similar siya sa SARS-CoV-1. So, yung template nung vaccine nila for SARS-CoV-1, ginamit lang nila dito. Pinalitan lang nila with yung unique parts na nakikita lang dito. So that's why they were able to develop
I
this one
see.
fast.
Kaya pala mabilis. Okay, Doc,
Yeah,
thank you so much for answering that question. We
Oh,
have another question for you, Doc. Kathy?
yeah. Doc, what type of food supplements should the seniors take to fight against COVID?
that's the problem kasi if you look at the WHO and the Centers for Disease Control guidelines, they don't recommend any supplements actually. They just
Oh,
recommend na yun nga, adequate sleep, adequate exercise, stuff like that. Pero they don't really recommend anything for supplements in terms of like vitamins or something like
yeah.
that.
Pero for
Really
you po,
don't.
yung vitamin C, load up on
It's up
vitamin
to you.
C.
Actually, with regards with us doctors kasi, in reality, sa amin, the studies on vitamins is mixed eh. There's some positive, there's some negative. So, it's up to you. Actually, sa akin, I always leave it up to the patient if they really want to take vitamins or not. So, if they want, I can give them. Pero, it's really up to the person to take it or not.
Okay.
But, unfortunately, if we're dealing with seniors kasi, you're dealing with a population that's probably taking in medications that are multiple eh.
Yeah,
Like, for example, may gamot sa high blood, sa sugar, and it might have interactions with their maintenance. So I suggest that they ask their doctors first before they before they drink anything like that. Kasi it might interfere with their medicines.
I see. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Doc. Yeah. So yeah, may maintenance sila, Kathy. Eh. So that's the thing. Eh. Baka
Mm-mm.
contraindicated. Eh.
Yeah.
Another question, Doc, for you. If a senior
Yeah,
citizen catches a cold or a cough, what should they do? They should not assume immediately that this is COVID, right? But
of
they should
course.
also subject themselves to diagnosis. Is that correct?
Yeah, but if you are practicing naman kasi the guidance, like for example, the mask and the 6 feet, and you're not coming out, I more or less, I will not suspect it like that. But I would be I'm reluctant to say na mag paracetamol or what. I think the safest would be paracetamol. But other than that, especially what I said kanina that earlier that they are probably taking in maintenance medication. So
Mm-mm.
if I could recommend something like that, it might interfere with their maintenance. So be very careful in drinking or self-medicating kasi it might interfere with their maintenance medication, which is something that I'm very careful with actually with seniors.
Okay.
Doc, my question lastly,
Yeah,
unless may questions pa yung viewers or si Carlo may question pa. Yung iba
yeah,
kasi, let's say may symptoms sila ng COVID based, and then based
yeah,
on the internet, kung nakita nila, ay, ganito, may dry cough ako, or,
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
is in there.
yeah,
They're scared to have themselves be swabbed
yeah.
because natatakot sila. Ano ba yung protocol? Pag nalaman na positive ka for COVID, do they mark you as someone with COVID and then ayun na, parang baka kunin ka na ng ambulansya, ganun yung usual.
I see.
Kaya ayaw nila magpa-test.
Yeah, but the problem is, ang problem mo with COVID is if you, for example, yun na nga, you have symptoms, you don't want to get tested, you want to, mag-isolate na lang ako, magagamot na lang ako. Problem is, if you get the severe type, or if you progress, kasi it's very fast eh.
Mm.
Within a couple of hours or matter of days, you can go from mild to moderate to severe na eh. And unfortunately, the drugs that you hear, like for example, steroids, they don't work for moderate to from severe to ARDS. So if you get you too late is too late. Eh. So that's the bottom line. If you get that's the problem with most cases that we see eh. When will I have to see a doctor? Kung ako tatanungin, you should probably like consult. If you're really afraid, try mo munang, like for example, they have online consults now eh, especially in Manila, yung consult RMD and stuff like that. So you can inquire kasi the doctor needs to see you if you really look like, oh, mukha ba tong COVID? Mukha. Kasi sometimes when you see the symptoms in the internet, ay, ito. Pero in reality, ang hindi nyo alam kasi, COVID is a syndrome eh. Hindi lang naman, ay, nilagnat ako, COVID na to. Ay, hindi naman ganun.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's a syndrome actually of a lot of things.
Yeah.
So more or less, yeah. Saka we have ways of, kaya lang ako kasi more or less, what I see in the practice is most people are afraid na yun nga to get isolated. Pero ang sa akin naman, if you don't get diagnosed early, you might also die from it also.
Doc, there's another
So it's
question here.
yeah, sure.
From Lorena Spiegel. How high is the mortality rate for seniors?
Depende kasi, pero here kasi, sa states it's about mataas eh. Mataas. Depende eh. It's depende sa population that you're dealing with eh. Kasi nga, when you're talking about seniors, meron silang sinasabi na from 65 to 80 is about as high as 70%
Oh
eh.
my gosh,
Pero
that's
you're
high.
dealing with the population na oo, mataas siya. Pero parang after 80 or 90 years old, parang bumaba na naman yung mortality. So mataas ang mortality. Especially if you have comorbidity. diabetes,
I see.
yung maraming sakit. Yeah, you have a lot of, halimbawa, you have high blood, diabetes, heart failure,
Mm.
ganyan. Mataas yung mortality with seniors. That's why they're particularly very vulnerable. That's why there should be one of the first in line to get the vaccines.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doc Olive. To all the seniors who are watching, or to the families who have seniors, no, ang advice ni Doc Olive is that we should be vigilant. For the seniors themselves should be vigilant also, and vigilant as in when you go out, medyo i-disinfect mo yung sarili mo when you come back, especially if you socialize with other bubbles, as Doc Olive puts it, no, other people. So it puts our seniors at risk. Eh. So this can be your loved ones, it can be your mom, it can be your dad or lolo lola. They're not. They're susceptible to COVID. They're vulnerable. So thank you so much, Doc Olive, for giving us
Thank
medical
you.
advice regarding seniors. We
No
really
problem.
appreciate it. God
Thank
bless
you,
you,
Doc.
Doc.
God bless
Okay.
you. Thanks, Doc Olive. Thanks.
Thanks for
Bye.
having me.
Thank you. All right. So,
Mm.
our next guest, we are now in the second segment of our show for tonight, which is about the mental and the spiritual aspect of the mental and spiritual health aspect of our seniors. So, our next guest is a licensed clinical pastoral counselor at National Christian Counselors Association in Florida, USA, and presently working as a full-time mental health counselor and resource speaker to various schools, companies, and churches on mental and emotional health concerns. He had various educational trainings and experiences in the field of psychology, urban missions, education, and clinical counseling. And he was a former guidance counselor at San Beda University. Sino ba mga, ano ba pag Beda? Red, ano nga?
Betanians. I don't know.
Oh, parang,
I really don't
help,
know.
help us, sino ba yung mga
Mm.
Bedans? Thank you, thanks G for the comment that we gave the very helpful information. Doctor, this doctor that we'll be introducing has been a professional counselor for more than 35 years. So we told you, we have the best here in Luci's channel. Ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, Dr. Tito Almadin. Hi, Doc. Hello,
Good
Doc. Thank
evening.
you.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi. Good evening, Dr. Tito.
Good
Evening.
evening,
Thank
Carlo and
you.
Kathy. Thank you so much for this privilege of being with you tonight and your viewers.
Thank you.
Hi.
The
Thank you so
privilege
much.
is ours.
Exactly, Doc.
Yeah,
How
So,
are you feeling tonight, Doc?
I'm good. I'm good. Okay,
Okay.
I'm excited to share with senior citizens also. So I'm nearing that
yay.
category.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay. We're
Yeah.
so excited to have you, Doc, and to have your insights.
Yes. Thank you
We'll
so much.
dive into the interview, Doc. I'll shoot the first question. Hearing the seniors interview earlier, Doc, and
Yes.
those you have counseled, what is what is their most common problem or complaint during this pandemic, and how can it be solved?
No-brainer 'yan 'no, kasi
Mm.
karamihan ng ating mga elderly nagrereklamo hindi sila makalabas.
Oh
They
yeah.
they
Oh
are
yeah.
really socially isolated 'no.
Mm.
Depending on what age they are, if they are seniors that are about 60 to 65, usually
Mm.
60 to 65 really outgoing pa rin yang mga 'yan, 'di ba? They
That's
would
right.
like to get out, meet their amigos and amigas. They
Mm.
have a Saturday and Sunday night club in the morning. They walking and jogging and everything, depending on the lifestyle of
Mm.
our seniors, no? And dalawa kasing klase yan eh. Merong mga introverts, merong
Yeah.
mga extroverts, di ba? Depende sa personality. Yung pandemic actually mas ano yan, advantage sa mga seniors natin na
Mm.
introvert, yung loner, home lang
Yeah.
sila, okay lang sila. Kaya lang, ang nagiging problema ng mga introverts na mga seniors natin, naguguluhan naman sila. Kasi
Mm.
lahat ng tao nasa bahay, hindi sila sanay. Yun naman ang
Yeah.
nagiging problema na. That's why those introverts would like to get out also of their shell. Dahil
Mm.
na-prick yung bubble din nila, di ba? Their
Yeah.
own sanctuary of quietness and sacredness has been
Yeah.
bombarded with a lot of noise of the children, online classes, work from home of their family, and
That's
then
true.
lahat magulo sa bahay. Kaya most of the people that I've counsel, mga senior citizens, they are really complaining about the harmony inside the house right now.
I see. I see. So, okay. So
True.
they're not really happy right now, Kathy, mga seniors.
Okay. Okay. What activities, Doc, should seniors engage in then during this time of pandemic when they can't go out of their homes and meet with family and friends? Ano ba dapat nilang gawin sa bahay na
Yeah.
atupagin?
Alam mo, sometimes the best thing for senior citizen, no, mentally speaking, no, sa mental health, is to listen to their stories. Yan. Yan ang ating mga adults, mga seniors, ang hilig magkwento niyan di ba? Minsan paulit-ulit na di ba? Historical in nature. But that is the best thing that you could do to them. Give time a listening ear for them. Okay?
I
That's the
see.
best. Kasi hindi nga sila makalabas. Magulo na yung bahay. Malikot yung mga bata. Lahat nandyan tayo. Tapos hindi mo sila pakikinggan pa. Kahit medyo may kakulitan ng konti at paulit-ulit. Okay lang yun. Sabi ko nga sa ibang mga tao, tatanda rin kayo at magiging ganyan din kayo. Dapat ngayon pa lang, matuto ka na mag-invest ng pasensya
Okay.
sa mga matatanda. Kasi pag tumanda ka, hindi ka nag-invest, hindi rin pasensyosyo yung mga tao. May iwanan kayo. So isa yun, no? Isa yun, Carlo and Kathy, no? Listening. I think number one is listening to their stories. Whatever that is, no? Listen to them. Kahit paulit-ulit. Huwag mong sabihin doon sa mga auntie senior, sinabi mo na sa akin kahapon yan, naku, magagalit sa iyo yun.
Okay.
Okay lang yun, kahit paulit-ulit. Kasi therapy nila yun and they are bending out their emotions and everything that they do, no? Secondly, think, no? Hanapin natin yung kiliti nila. Ano yung interest nila? Una, yung mga old movies, no? Yung mga younger guys, mga members ng family. Mag-archive kayo ng mga old movies, yung mga Sound of Music, Gone with the Wind,
yung panahon nila.
Yung panahon nila. Meron kayong movie night twice a week. Meron kayong movie night. Tapos meron naman kayong twice a week din na karaoke, mga old songs. Kanta, kahit pagsayuin natin yan, cha-cha yan, o anong mga tango, o swing. Depende yan, no? Yan yung mga physical activity na pwedeng gawin. Movies, singing, dancing, sa loob ng bahay na merong fun. Plus kasi hindi nga sila makalabas di ba?
Yeah.
So, make the atmosphere very fun with them. Kasi depende sa health condition ng mga elderly po natin, if they are really physically siguro, kanta-kanta lang, o kaya hindi na makapagsayaw, okay lang. Kasi ako, may mga kaibigan ako na, yung mga nanay-nanay na po, 90 years old, mahilig pa magsayaw, di ba? may DI pa, whatever. So, yun yung mga bagay natin pwedeng gawin within the family. Yung mga kaya lang ng ating mga elder. At marami pang iba, home cooking, pwede turo ng konti, o kaya yung mga, siguro, minsan, hindi naman pwede lumabas, no? Pwede naman siguro mag-joyride, sasakay lang kayo sa kotse. Sinasabi ko sa mga kaibigan namin, hindi nga pwede lumabas, hindi pwede pumunta. Pero pwede sumakay ng kotse nyo. Tapos, tumakbo kayo, joyride. No? Kahit hindi bumabasa, basta may malamig na hangin, may nakikitang bagong atmosphere, hindi yung four corner, yung kusina lang nakikita ng mga matatanda natin. Early morning, para lang yung sariwang hangin. Change of atmosphere really counts a lot in the mental health of our seniors.
That's nice. Thank you so much.
Bigay tayo ng mga weekend surprises sa kanila. Saturday, surprise natin. Tuluto tayo ng paboritong pagkain nila. Tapos magsusum meeting yung mga amiga nila, yung mga old classmates nila, di ba? Surprise mo sila. O yung mga apo nila, bigla may susum, ayan na, kainan. Parang picnic in the Zoom. So kailangan, hanapin natin kung saan sila maging masaya. What is their happy hormones? That is more important.
Kuwang-kuwa ni Doc yung pulso ng mga seniors.
Katulad ni Kathy, kasi sa church namin, sa Victory, no? Mas closer ako sa mga, sa mga elderly, kasi medyo malapit-lapit na ako sa edad nila Kaya, loves na loves ko yung mga yan. Kaya alam ko yung mga historia nila. Tuloy-tuloy nila, interest nila, sige lang, okay. So, investment ko yan sa sarili ko 'pag tumanda ako. Sana meron rin mga taong katulad ko na ngayon bata-bata pa. Yun ang ano natin.
Doc,
Right.
I have another question, Doc. What is cabin fever? Nako, cabin fever, parang ano to, familiar to. What is cabin fever and how should seniors handle this?
Oo, yung cabin fever, ay alam naman natin yung cabin, no? Parang cabinet o kaya parang na secluded ka. In
Yeah.
short, that is a terminology given for social isolation. Ibig sabihin, you are tied up in the four corners of your wall, no? And you feel suffocated, no? The fever is not really literally may sakit ka, no? But you feel overwhelmed, suffocated, you cannot really express who you are, hindi ka makakilos para masigip ang mundo sa'yo. Yan yung cabin fever na sinasabi natin, no? Carlo and Cathy. Eh, paano natin yun, make the atmosphere light.
Okay.
Make the
I see.
atmosphere fun. Katulad ng kwento ko kanina ng unang question natin. Lahat ng yon that will augment and that will help to get out of their shell again and they become alive once more. No? Yun ang kailangan nun, social interaction. Kasi with this pandemic, dalawang bagay na nangyari sa atin disconnection, no? With people around that we are. Tsaka yung emotional connection din sa mga taong around us, no? So yun nagkakaroon tayo ng problema. Kaya the best thing for that is to really connect socially kasi we are created by God with a social brain eh. We are all social being, di ba? Ayaw nga mga bata-bata pa, sumama na ako dun sa bata-bata. Nawiwindang yung buhay mo pag wala lalo ka na, kung matanda ka na, limited na, no? Much more, di ba? Lahat naman tayo affected niyan. Kaya we need to connect with humans and with nature also. Kaya ibang mga matatanda ang ginagawa nila. Bago naman ng pandemic, marami na mga plantitos eh. Dumami lang ngayon yung mga plants na mga aalagaan ng ating mga elderly kasi nga yun yung mga bagay na kailangan nilang ayusin. They need to learn more on that.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Doc.
So, next question, Doc. There is fear lurking around about getting the vaccine, wherein it will be the seniors who will be part of the first tranche. Should seniors be afraid of this, and how should they handle their fear?
You know, it is normal to have fear and worry kasi no one have been in that situation before, di ba? Hindi lang naman condition is not yet a condition of the elderly. It's a condition of every one of us, no? Who would say that you're not worried, no? Carlo, Cathy, are you worried of the vaccine? You don't know, di ba? It's your first time. Lahat tayo, it's our first time. Much more with the elderly. Kasi ang worry ng mga elderly, maikli na nga yung buhay ko, baka pag na-vaccine ako, lalong umikli pa.
That's true.
Ano nila, di ba? Tayo naman, naku, baka na-vaccine ako, baka naman ang ganda pa ng future ko, baka lalong umikli, mahaba pa yung buhay ko. So, we have both worries. Iba lang yung level ng perspective natin. Ako, ang suggestion ko with our elderly, okay, if you're still afraid about that, okay, the best thing to do is really to exercise a high level of health protocol. Kung di ka pa handa, unahin mo na muna yung iba. Kung ano, sa bagay, ang advantage naman tayo sa Asia, nauna na yung mga elderly sa first world country. Nakita na natin yung result, no? Siguro after 2 months na makita natin result. Siguro the best thing for our elderly is really to research, to read news, or what is the effect of the vaccine to the elderly abroad bago sila mismo magpaturok. O kaya, they need to consult their own personal physician o doctor regarding their condition. Kasi mahirap yung turok lang ng turok, tapos meron palang condition yung tao, baka magkaroon ng complication. So prior to that, it's better safe than sorry, sabi ko nga.
Yes, that's very good advice, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
Cathy, the concern about the vaccines, yung takot, it's very common and normal. Yeah. So, Doc, I have another question for you. Cathy, we can hear you and we can see you.
Okay. So, that was the concern which we discussed earlier, diba? Dun sa part ni Doc Olive din. So, So yun nga, it's a normal thing sabi ni Doc. But yeah, we should trust naman our what's that? Mga pharmas natin who develop these vaccines, and these have already been administered on our first world countries. Di ba yun? So sige, Carlo, you may wanna ask the next question.
Okay. Our next question, Doc, is some seniors say that since they are in their twilight years or last phase of their lives, they should be able to enjoy it and be allowed to enjoy it. Right now, fear, loneliness, and feelings of insignificance are what highlights their days. How should they fight these negative feelings? Yeah,
Yeah,
totoo yan.
okay.
Hmm.
Ito yung ano natin, madalas na respond natin diyan. Ini-invalidate natin yung ating mga feelings ng ating mga elderly. Sasabihin natin sa kanila, "No, wag na kayong mag-alala diyan. Okay lang 'yan. Wag na tayong mag-isip ng masama." Mali po 'yun kasi that is a form of emotional abuse. Alam ni Kathy 'yan, di ba? Pag nagkukuwento yung mga matatanda natin, nangadamdamin nilang negative, hindi ibig sabihin talagang negative na negative 'yun. Yung ano lang nila, yung worriness lang nila yun. No? Nagwo-worry lang sila, very weary sila, etc. Siyempre, alam naman natin, when you are growing old, yung emotional vulnerability mo, very sensitive ka. No? So, you have to really understand them. No? Don't analyze their emotion. Just understand them well. Listen to them. No? Sabi nga ng kanta, di ba? Alam ni Carlo to, no? You say it best when you say nothing at all. Sabi nga natin, di ba? Diba? Better
Okay.
to listen. Be very, very empathetic listener, di ba? Yung mga
Okay.
ano natin. Pangalawa, after listening to them and understanding them, Carlo and Kathy, you know what will happen next? Okay, tell them that life is short. No?
Okay.
But that life is in the very hands of God. But,
Mm.
you know, we don't put our life based on the faith and the things that is happening all around the world. We put our life in the very hands of God. Kaya every day, we need to submit our joys and even our pains to God. Hindi
That's
naman
true.
natin, no? No one holds life. No one controls life except the God, no? That is
Yes.
above. God in heaven. We need to give them consolation and a sense of hope. Don't
Yeah.
lose hope. Rather than kontrahin natin, sabihin natin, naintindihan ko yung mga damdamin nyo, naintindihan yung mga negative. Kahit ako nga rin po, ganyan din ang aking nararamdaman. Di ba? Ang ganda ng mga, yung mga matatanda, gusto nila yung nagsisimpatya ka kaysa kinukontra mo sila. So, susunod na kinontra mo sila, awayin ka nun.
Totoo
True.
yan.
Totoo yun.
Yes. Sympathy first. And then, mag-ano ka sa kanila, mag-identify ka sa nila. Pero sabi mo, alam mo, mami, auntie, katulad ko, tayong dalawa, sabay tayong mananalangin, sabay tayong maghahanap ng pag-asa sa Panginoon. Kasi itong mga bagay na ito, hindi natin hawak. Pero gayon pa man, andito naman tayo, humihinga naman tayo pareho, di ba? O maging happy-happy tayo. Pwede naman tayo mag-videoke, mag-dance-dance, umano tayo all movies. Yung kinento ko kanina ng mga happy activities na pwede natin. So, change the atmosphere rather than gloomy na sasagutin mo yung negative nila. Pwede mong, ang sabi natin, Kathy, sa church, diba? We always go to the opposite spirit.
Yeah.
Para maayos natin yung mindset nila. Kasi minsan mindset lang eh. Kailangan ma-break yun. But very subtle at very sensitive at very loving ang pagpapaliwanag sa ating mga seniors kasi very sensitive sila.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Very
That
well
was a
said, Doc.
great. Yeah.
Okay. So, next question. Doc, how does spirituality help the seniors during this time of pandemic?
Oo, sabi nga natin, pag senior na tayo, parang 3 hakbang na lang tayo papuntang langit, no? So, 1, 2, 3, malapit na tayo. Pero mahalaga nun, at this pandemic season, we need to develop even a deeper relationship with God. Okay? Life is not guaranteed. Sabi nga, tomorrow is never promised. Eh. So, we always need to pray morning, afternoon, night, or read our Bible. If minsan mga matatanda, minsan ang ang excuse nila, malabo na yung mata ko, hindi na ako makakapagbasa. So, meron mga audio Bible, di ba? na pwede natin pakinggan kung maliwanag pa yung pandinig niya. O kaya, kahit Bible movie, etc. O kaya pagpapaliwanag, o kung may mga bata-bata pa sa loob ng bahay na pwede mag-Bible study sa kanila, mag-share ng Word of God sa kanila, better yon, no? So, get in love with God. Yung prayers really counts a lot, no? Prayer, worship, ano mga favorite songs nila na pwede nilang kantahin, no? Napakahalaga na naiibsan yung kanilang it lessen their emotional and mental tension and mental fatigue at this point in time.
Right. Oh, by the way, for our viewers pala, if you have questions for Doc, please take advantage of this chance that you can ask him, and then we'll ask the question live ngayon mismo, ha? So please type in the comment section your questions.
Yeah, please. Doc, for our final question, no, what can companions of senior or family members living with them do for the seniors to help them cope with their various challenges now in the pandemic?
Okay. The best way for people around the elderly is to educate themselves, no? Educate themselves not for themselves, but learning how to deal with the elderly. Kasi ang elderly, iba na yung mindset nila, iba na yung emotion nila, iba na yung status nila. So, sabi ko nga parati, more patience, more listening ear, more love, comfort, make life easy for them, no?
Okay.
Remember, this elderly, kung wala sila, baka wala nga tayo ngayon sa natin. They guided us to our road to success at this present time. So, tulungan naman natin sila to bring comfort, hope, love, and happiness in their life. Alam mo, minsan ang mga elderly naman natin, mababaw lang naman ang kaligayahan ng mga yan. Di ba? Minsan, di lang natin, naiinis lang tayo kasi naiistorbo tayo kasi, di ba, tayong mga bata-bata, ang bilis ng mundo natin. Sila medyo mabagal na, paulit-ulit pa. So, pasukin mo yung mundo nila. Go to their world, wag silang papasukin mo sa mundo mo. Ikaw ang pumasok sa mundo nila at dance their dance step.
I
Kung
see.
tango sila, tango ka rin. Hindi yung hindi yung strut ang sasayawin mo.
Yeah, that's right.
Hindi ganon. Kung ano yung sayaw nila, sayawin natin. Kasi sabi ko nga parati, tatanda rin tayo. Pag hindi tayo ganyan sa matatanda natin, pagtanda mo, baka ganyan din ka rin ng mga mas mabata sa'yo. Pakita mo, show them an example, and show them the love and the care and comfort that they truly deserve because of the love of Christ in us through them.
Amen. That was well said.
Doc, before we end this this segment, I'm interested to know lang, ano yung pinaka difficult case that you handled na senior yung patient?
Meron ako isang patient na complaining. Hindi actually sa kanya sa mga tao kamag-anak niya. I've talked to two guys, two seniors. Ang naging problema niya hindi sila. Ang problema pa nila yung mga anak nila. Isolated, hindi maka-cope up, nagtatantrums, etc. Yung hindi na nila naiintindihan yung sarili nila, nadadagdag pa ibang. Kaya nga ang aking pakiusap, no, wag na natin bigyan ng additional na headache yung ating mga seniors, no? Bigyan na natin sila ng kasiyahan. No, kung meron man tayong tatakbuhan na iba, siguro yung mga kapatid mo na lang muna, kamag-anak mo na bata-bata para tulungan kayo. Siguro advice na lang yung ating mga seniors, no? Kasi nagiging extra burden pa tayo, no? Marami ako nakakausap ngayon ng mga seniors, yun ang reklamo nila. Actually, hindi sila problema nila, anak nila, hindi umuwi ng bahay, nagkakaroon ng problemang ganito, etc. Hawak pa nila hanggang ngayon, pasan pa nila yung burden. No? So ako, tinutulungan ko sila how to help themselves also and how to ask for help from other people within their circle of relatives and friends. Support ba? Meron support team within that.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Doc. As you can see, to our dear audience, no, at first, ang guest natin was Doc Olive, and we talked about we were concerned about the health of the body of the seniors. Ito naman, si Doc Tito, he is talking all about the health of the soul of the seniors. So
Right.
we are looking at it holistically. And thank you so much, Doc.
Doc,
Thank you so much for taking the time to guest in our show. We really
Car-
appreciate it.
Carlos, since bitin tayo sa ano natin segment,
Mm.
si Doc Tito, meron siyang mga seminars, upcoming seminars, and he has
Oh,
a book.
wow.
Doc, please talk about
Yeah,
this.
I have a book, no? Beyond Good Advice. This is a mental health book. Anyone can advise people based on the Word of God, no? Beyond Good Advice, your guide to Bible-based counseling. Yung mga hindi marunong mag-counsel, siguro this book is good for you, no? Lalo na yung ating mga elderly. Pwede natin basahin yan para pag nag-counsel tayo based on the Word of God, no? You can order that at Beyond Good Advice in my Facebook page and also Instagram, or you can message me and Tito G. Almadi in my Facebook page. And then I have some seminars on managing stress, burnout, and um, burnout and managing stress, and also mental health awareness, no? And every Saturday, this coming Saturday, no, meron akong Facebook Live rin, no?
Wow.
Real talk on mental health. Siguro, I hope you can follow me, no? You just follow my Facebook account, Tito G. Almadin, and wait every 6 o'clock on Saturday. This coming Saturday, I'll be talking about anxiety. Overcoming
Wow.
anxiety.
That's nice.
Last week, I talk about stress, no? So, every week, meron tayong mental health concerns na tatalakayin natin. Parang ganito
Very
rin.
timely.
Ang
I'll be
galing.
lecturing maybe mga 10-15 minutes and then question and answer then. And that's my advocacy for all Filipino people and all around the world who have some mental health concerns also.
There's a comment here from Maricar Estrabo. Wait. She said, thank you po, Doc Tito and Doc Olive. Learned a lot po.
Thank you so much, Maricar.
And from
May great episode, sorry. Ayan.
great episode from Ofelia Guillermo. Thank you daw. And with a heart emoticon. Okay. Thank you so much,
Thanks
Doc.
so much, Doc. God bless you.
God
Thank you
bless
so much,
you.
Ken.
Blessed night.
So
Bye-bye.
your Facebook account is Tito Almadin or may doctor?
Tito G. Tito G. Almadin.
Tito G. Almadin. Okay, walang
Yes.
doctor dun sa account mo. Tito G. Almadin.
Almadin.
Okay, so we'll follow you. Thank you so much, Doc.
Okay.
All right.
This episode is very close to Kathy's heart, really. Kasi she loves the seniors, man. Barkada niya, mga seniors. Every Saturday, if I recall correctly,
Sunday.
we have senior citizens, Spring 60s. It's a ministry, parang Bible study get together with seniors, and Kathy is the leader. Tas ang ganda ng show na you put together, Kathy. Tinalakay natin yung health aspect, yung how to keep the body healthy of the seniors, and also si Doc Tito naman about the soul naman. So complete eh. So ang ganda.
Holistic. Yeah,
Yeah.
holistic. Syempre, we love them. We love our seniors and we want to understand them better. We are going through some tough times, and yun nga yung takeaway ko. I like yung learnings natin for tonight, like yung practical advice ni Doc Olive about exposing yourself to the sun. For that is for the seniors, 5 minutes lang daw, 3 times a week. And then sabi niya parang before 9 or pwede hanggang 10 a.m. And then she said supplements are not recommended kung hindi mo ma-check pa muna with your doctor kasi baka may mga contraindication with the maintenance medicines that you're taking. And also it's important nga daw to decontaminate yourself if you go out for work before interacting with the seniors in your bubble. And then si Doc Tito naman, he said you sympathize with the seniors and enter into their world. Parang you go into their bubble. They're within our bubble with them. There's another bubble with the seniors. So let's try to understand what they're going through. And then, alam natin mahirap kasi magkakaiba nga na yan ng pace in our lives. So talagang nagkakaroon ng misunderstanding dyan. So he gave us great advice about this. And then he said that, we can also lead them in prayer every day. He said na ang buhay naman talaga natin, pareho lang naman tayong takot. 'Di ba? Pare-pareho lang naman din tayong takot for our lives. So let's put our lives in the very hands of God. So yun yung ano, and I like what he said about investing your time with the seniors. All of us will reach that age, and alam natin what we sow, we reap. Diba? So we want that when we reach that age when we are physically weaker, we want the younger people to understand us and to learn from us also. Yun, yung may mga makikinig sa kwento natin na paulit-ulit by that time.
Yes.
Yeah. So how about you, Carlo?
Thanks, Kathy. Ako, short lang eh. Ang sa akin,
Mm.
kung wala yung seniors, wala tayo. Tapos yan, eventually magiging seniors din tayo. So, we should be kind to seniors. Yan lang yung
Right.
message.
And
Kathy?
and for you seniors, we'd like to leave you with this verse, Isaiah 46, verse 4. Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He. I am He who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will rescue you. So that is God's promise to you as we approach this uncertain times. Sabi nga, yung buhay natin nasa kamay ng Panginoon, and sabi niya, alagaan niya tayo mula ng bata kasi tayo, inalagaan tayo ng Panginoon. So hanggang gray daw ang buhok na natin, unless nagdaday ka ng, ng buhok. So yun, or nawala na yung buhok mo, sabi nga, yun. So, thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
everybody, for tuning in tonight. We enjoyed okay, so there's another comment here. Thank you for this episode. Big help to understand more of my parents. God bless you, both K and K. And then, si Tita Norma, thank you very much. We learned so much. We learned so much from you also, Tita Norma. You were part of that video at the start. And yeah, it is a wonderful episode. Thank you. God bless you. So thank you. And see you again next week. Bye,
Okay,
Carlo.
bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.